What's going on, my cannonballs? We're back for a short, quick second. Just for a short, quick second, you guys. Because I don't want any distractions. Go ahead and nip that right in the bud now. Mm. But this is like a video to give a little bit of response, even with what they didn't ask for my opinion. But I was listening to Brian the other night. This is before Honest Bro got cussed out. I was listening to Brian the other night, and I see his views. I can understand it, but at the same time, you know, our parents accepted us, whether they wanted to see us, with someone of the same sex, um, whether we may have had a little sass to us, they still accepted you for who you were, whether you may have decided to came out later on in life. I feel like the parents, they still can show you love in a different type of way, and I don't think it's a good idea to kind of just mistreat them in a way, because that, in my eyes, that's kind of like abuse. If if they got to go through certain measures, of with them dealing with you and how you feel about their lifestyle. you know Me personally, if I had any gay children and they wanted to, be a certain way, I would want them to wait later. Well, for the time being, since I will have control over them for a certain time, you know, I would want them to do it later on in life if they want to, get maybe around by, their teens, you know, because they can be themselves. That's how it's good for them to be themselves, especially around this time, or around that time, because they get to feel people. And I would want my children to feel out whoever may be trying to pursue them. Honestly, for real, whoever they are trying to, or whoever they may be trying to pursue, fill them out. I wouldn't want to share to my kids from certain things, because I mean, when they get out there in the world and they feel like they have been sheltered so much, they're gonna be like banshees. I'm trying to tell you, it's good to let them let them have a little freedom. It's good for kids to have a little freedom, not too much, but just keep it to a minimum and keep the PG. And, we ain't finna do no dancing together. Y'all not finna be going behind the bleachers, going behind trees. We ain't finna be going up to the park by yourself. I need somebody there watching you, because anything can happen. You know, and I'm only speaking from experience, because that's how I was, raised. It was things that we got away with. It was things that we found out when we got, well, before we got old enough to even look at stuff like sex and pornography, and you actually going out there and doing those things that you may have, watched, or someone may have told you about. You know, mm, I ain't gonna lie, I done seen some things with my young self. But what? At the same time, I do not want to go out there and just let myself go and just be sleeping around, willing, to catch anything. I don't know what it feels like to burn. I don't know what it feels to burn. Well, I do a little bit, because I had a bladder infection, and there was blood coming out, not the urine. But that's the only burning sensation I ever felt down there, and I haven't seen no blood drops. Besides the infection that I had from the drinking too many pops. I had an infection, and that was hurt. That was painful. It was worse than it was worse than pain I ever felt in my life. I would say it was close to a toothache or an eye ache, but I ain't gonna lie. That toothache is unbearable. You have to get that taken out. We just don't remind me, because I got to get some more next month, and I'm a little scared. But yeah, I just, I was just love my kids for who they are, and if they want to dress up as boys and girls, hey, do what you gotta do. Just be safe out there. I wouldn't deny them of being. And now, I would say social anxiety, and they don't like folks don't know how to communicate that well, and a lot of them be in their phones and just kind of just they don't get back to what they used to know before they even had a. days where you'll be out to the street lights come on. You gotta hurry. You gotta hurry up. Get back in the house, or you ain't coming outside no more for a little time. You're gonna get your ass beat, and then you're gonna get cussed out, and then you're gonna get, hey, look, yeah, they may say just eat a sandwich and take your ass to sleep. I'm at right now, just by walking distance. I can walk there. Now I ain't gonna lie, that would be a long ass walk. But one time I got lost down there, my family, they were so worried about me. But I was with another person that's doing good for themselves now. But I was with him, and shoot, I didn't even come there with him. He said he just so happened to see me, and he was like, shit, we need to walk home together, man, so we can be on the safe side. So I said, yeah, let's do that. So it took us a little minute. It took us a little minute because we just using our feet, and we got there. But when I got back to my house, my people was mad at me. They was like, you was wearing us. My grandmother was a little pissed off. No, my great grandmother was pissed off. That's when she was a time. She was pissed off. My mama was pissed off. My grandma was pissed off. My grandpa was pissed off. My cousins and shit, they was worried about me. Everybody was mad at me because they couldn't find me. But that was just a learning lesson. Don't leave. Don't be going. Anywhere, without everybody knowing, without really anybody knowing where you're going, because I didn't leave with everybody. and you know what? I think the reason why I did because I was supposed to get a ride with somebody, but they end up leaving my ass. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have to walk back to the house. Because I didn't even have my cell phone. You guys was dead. And that's why I hate leaving the house without not having a battery, because, I need to get a lift. I need to get a lift or get a taxi cab. That's too high. And an Uber too. Well, Uber and Lyft, they probably about the same. But at nighttime, it gets very, very costly. In the daytime, it's cheap. But nighttime, baby, it gets very, very costly. And then sometimes you got people that's doing another route while they're on their way to you. And sometimes you may have to wait a little minute, but they'll still come. But yeah, I don't want to ever have to go through that ever again. That's why I'm always gonna make sure I got some type of monies in my bank account. So if I have to move around, I'm moving quickly, fast, in a hurry. I'm not finna wait around for everybody. I am going to be like that for the rest of my life. I just can't, that's why I like that. That's why I like to be on my time. I don't like to be on other folks' times, because sometimes those folks don't know when to go home, and I want to go home. I don't like looking in folks' faces all the damn time. Barely can stand being around them, and it's the truth. It's the truth. I don't mind saying that, but it's the truth. I don't like I don't like being bothered. Somebody done text me today, and I know who this person is, but it's like we ain't friends. I know I'm friends with your brother. I'm not friends with you. And I wonder why you hit my damn line up, and then why the hell are they giving my number out? Like look, what can I do for you for the month? Not a goddamn thing. You better go call some more family members of your own, your blood, because I can't help no niggas out here right now. I can't. I gotta help myself. I'm putting me first, not nobody else. They got some needs, as I do. That Pepsi is good, even though I prefer Coke. But I'm gonna keep it real though. If any parent out there that is dealing with that, I think you just need to shake that off. Shake it off. I mean, but you always, you still can stick to your values. I would just say, hey, if you don't want that around, you just tell them you don't want that around. Now they should respect that, because I know people that's like that. They don't care what you are. Just don't try to holler at them, and don't bring too much of that lifestyle around them. You can respect their boundaries on that. As the children, they can. And as the adult too. But I don't know. I feel different type of ways about that. I do. You might as well just say, "Hey, get out of my house, cause you gay." Hell, no one did anybody kick you out the house? I didn't get kicked out the house. I just didn't bring that lifestyle around certain individuals. I know how they felt about it. And I didn't, and for two, well, really for one, I really didn't want nobody in my goddamn business. How you doing, Big Tasty? I really didn't want nobody in my goddamn business. So therefore, whatever I did outside the house was my business. I ain't gonna lie. I did have a few times. I did have a few times where some people popped up unannounced and almost got. And I didn't want them in my business, but they found out after that. So it was just like, hey, it is what it is. You're gay. You know, you guys, I got off into this lifestyle in 2016. Yes, indeed. I couldn't do it a couple of years back. Well, really before, because it was something. It was like a transition. Like I was just like, oh well, I tried it with the women, that didn't work, and so yeah. But you know, even though I still had a liking towards the same sex, but yeah, I ain't gonna lie though, dealing with people in the community make you want to get out of the community. And almost, I ain't gonna lie to you, you kind of want to reconsider. It'll make you want to reconsider sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like, you know, if I'm dealing with this with a woman, I mean with a man, I can be with a woman, you know. That's really how it's supposed to be. But hell, if I wanted to deal with that, I would have been with a woman. That's why. I don't have an issue with. I got to tell the world this. I do not have an issue with trans people. It's the only people I have issue is the ones that try to try me, whether they are trans or not. Whether they are young or old. Those are the individuals that I have an issue with. You know. And then I'm glad that I am so glad that it's not another fake person in the chat again, because Fee Brown, she is not allowed over here. If y'all see her snipe out of here, she was talking some mess in somebody else's chat, and she didn't think that I was going to see that. And I seen it, right? Look, in real time. I didn't have to go back and look at the chat and catch the replay on that one. I was right there in the cut. I mean, she was talking some big boy ish. I'm like, oh, okay. Don't come back. I don't want you back over here. Look, I don't want. I'm good on fake love. I am so good on fake love. When I have allowed you to come back over to my channel, I should have blocked you a long time ago because you was being disrespectful to me. I think some weeks ago, but I let it go. I let it go, but you won't be back. I'm not changing my mind on this one. You won't be back. Now I choose to block certain ones, but that one gotta go. That's a chaos demon. You know, that's a chaos demon. Oh my goodness, you guys. I was under the influence, drinking the wrong thing. Well, I wasn't under the influence too bad, but it was just mixing the clear with another brand of vodka. I would have never heard the ending of it. Cash, it was online under the influence. Well, the hell, I'm at home. Who I'm bothering? I'm outside talking with my friend. Shit, 15 as well, yeah, shit. Yeah, not bothering anybody. But I see I'm still the topic of conversation. They would love to look. I wonder when this stuff is gonna just die down. Cause it's silliness at this point. But I can't wait. I ain't gonna look. I'm not gonna even mention it over here. Try my best. It's hot. I'm finna get back in the house. I just have to come out and hit my reefer. Just to calm my nerves down. I'm just thinking about a lot. And I think I think I may have to get on some what is that ADHD, because I be feeling like jittery a little bit too much, just laying down, my heart be racing kind of fast. I think it's because of what I may consume for the time being, but I'm definitely gonna have to just maybe drink more water, and less wine and less of that vodka stuff. It really was some gin, you guys. It was gin. That gin. I don't know what it is about gin. I get to thinking a certain, like, I had to go. I like, let me get up and out this car because I'm like, shit, I'm ready to look at some freaky stuff. And don't talk to me about sex. Somebody was sex, what they was doing to another woman. And I'm like, damn, I ain't even getting none. I wish I can get some sex, with a person, but shit, I can't. They stay out too far. And I'm not so big on it anyways, because we ain't even communicating like that. It's a text here and there and everywhere. But, it is what it is. I ain't really looking for no love right now. Just want to get some things in order mentally. hmm But I'm gonna get up on out of here, you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Usually I don't do long videos, so sometimes you gotta keep it to a minimum. And you guys be blessed and not stressed. I'm out.